Welcome, peering soul, to the fifth entry of my digital sketchbook series. Last entry was a long-winded introduction to the high dark fantasy world of Dawnward, while this one will be a return to Stains of Sin, which, if this is your first time on my channel, is a brutal post-apocalyptic world ruined by the past ambitions of man. The land torn from war and the sky stained with the artificial red. This entry will be different to the previous ones, with it serving as more as an overview of the page's topic and quickly showcasing the sketches while giving brief lore and titles to said drawings, if it applies. The reason for this is simple. Since I am going to be making higher drawing quality and shorter, lore-focused videos after these last few pages, going into such depth like I have for each and every sketch just bloats the runtime. These pages need to be run through quicker so I can get to the real meat of what this channel offers. Also, I will be doing looser, brainstorming concept art videos as well, which feels like the natural evolution to this sketchbook series anyway. The next entry will be a lot more in-depth, and for good reason, but the last will be the same as this one. But now that that is out of the way, let us return to the Red Ruin and explore the many forms and ways electricity is harnessed post-folly. Since the world of Stains of Sin is one highly connected with technology, electricity is a necessity to almost everything, especially to machines and neo-humans. The former need it to carry on their tasks, old, flawed, and depraved, while the latter needed to power themselves to get stronger, ensuring their survival in a ruthlessly competitive world. Like with the precious mock blood, the sources for electricity are varied and ripe with danger to obtain them. But to neo-humanity, the risks are worth it if it means gaining power. But of course, there are some which preys on neo-humanity's desperation, found in dark corners of the Red Ruin, just like with the Ichor Knaves. A non-threatening but risky source of plentiful energy is from an industrial generator, kept idle from years of abandonment but still potent in its power. A neo-human who chooses to plug themselves into it plays a dangerous game in overcharging, bursting their veil boxes and blood core if not careful. A rather innovative and convenient energy source are from these tall stations within cities, acting like gas pumps but with electricity. Some kind of currency is needed to activate them, though, and if one has none, then they are for sure out of luck. If they have strong enough gear, then perhaps they can break it open, though in doing so opens up its own risks. Since the harnessing of electricity has been practiced much longer than mock blood, there are plenty of reliable energy sources to be found in the Red Ruin, with one such example being the curious energy buds, which poke out of the ground in seemingly random spots within cities. Putting an energy plug into one of its sockets will recharge it, making these buds valuable, though their ease of use and commonness make them easily exploitable. Buds have a chance of being infected with a virus, corrupting the neo-human's mechanisms and, for this type, tracking their location to a nefarious neo-human cult. It's for this reason that such convenient sources should be treated with caution, with the rarer kinds being the best in the long run, such as these energy vials that can not only charge one's gear, but be recharged, ensuring a long-lasting electricity source. They can be found plugged into these stations within industrial areas, suggesting they were used for powering work robots long ago. But these vials often need to be recharged, and so the search for an even stronger, longer-lasting resource is a priority to many neo-humans, and if one's lucky, they may come across a curious contraption called Foy. If the neo-human detaches Foy's head, they may carry it on their backs as a large rechargeable battery that, if one's respectful towards, will communicate with its carrier. It may provide useful guidance and information on the past, or jab at the neo-human's faults and refuse to charge their gear. It all depends on the attitude one gives Foy, a sentient, high-quality energy source. These sources get even stranger, with this called a nail seed, which is uncommon but found in clumps across the Red Ruin, capable of charging one's gear, but ultimately not much on its own. If one keeps exploring, they may find the source for these seeds, called air hand sprouts. Strange contraptions that grow energy seeds, found alone in lab-like structures, withering away if all their seeds have been taken. It seems as if these contraptions can grow into something greater, and if one is daring in their exploration, they may find this evolution, the air hand trees, located in the otherworldly synthetic gardens. Shifting to some electric-aligned Red Ruin denizens, which often harness it to stun and or destroy threats or victims, with an example being these Elecmites, small robots that absorb electricity to power their own batteries, being so potent they can disable giant machines. The insulations on their legs aid in protecting them from the often dangerous exposures to surging electricity. And another curious machine are the scampering batteries, which detach themselves from servers and leap at intruders, emitting a blinding EMP from their pins. These batteries are sometimes accompanied by larger, frightening machines called clavigers, who act as the caretakers of the remote stations they're placed in. Their job is to keep the station's tech running and offer repairs to anything that needs it. And since neo-humans are part mechanical, to a claviger, they are machines in need of repair, and so we'll hunt them down to fix them. The freaky human head is a remnant of the old world's tastes in invoking kinship with their robots, though they are devoid of any tender emotions. Electricity is not only a reliable energy source, but a means of offense and defense, with the first example being these little projectiles called shock bombs, which when thrown burst with bright electricity. But if one wants an even stronger, easily carryable electric tool, then look no further than the Volter, which after a charge emits powerful, violent bolts of electricity towards one's foes, frying them as seen with the neo-human defending themselves from a bug-esque ruins creature. If one finds themselves overwhelmed with a group of machines, then an excellent tool in disabling them is with this EMP emitter, which when placed and activated constantly emits electropulses in its vicinity, shutting down robots but also affecting the neo-human's technology. While it isn't electrical per se, it does have electric-based activations, in that when this kind of ammo, called a burst dart, attached with powerful bomb components, pierces a target, the sensor goes off and sends a signal to the bomb, causing it to explode. Such an example is shown with a neo-human protecting themselves from a carnage stain, dealing massive damage to this vicious threat when ignited. Lightning, as we know, is electricity, and so in this world ruined by man's hubris, what form would lightning take? Sometimes in the sky, a dark patch will quickly form in the red, and eventually a bolt of shimmering black lightning shoots out of the stained sky and contacts with the ground, leaving a mound of spiky black fulgurite in its wake. With this resource being used in many pieces of technology, such as new human limbs and veil boxes. In some parts of the Broken Border City, a neo-human may stumble upon the somewhat imposing bolt spheres, which are refined and constantly charged kinds of Tesla coils that, if appropriate matter gets within its range, will send out a devastating electrical bolt to said matter. Be it a neo-human, and they will instantly become a clump of fried flesh and metal. If you, peering soul, have watched the second entry, then you may remember the Warlocks, who are a sect of neo-humans which aim to make themselves more machine than biological. They especially seek energy sources, obsessing over finding and hoarding it to themselves, with an example being the peculiar coil-armed Warlock, who have augmented themselves into attracting, absorbing, and utilizing the powerful electrical discharges of bolt spheres for their own power. There are a few more sketches to this page, but they do not relate directly to the main topic, electricity. And so, they will not be given greater detail, but will be shown in passing. By doing this, I cut out the fat and get to the point quicker. But I do not throw away said fat, keeping it to the side for all to see, but will remain descriptionless for the time being. I especially like the last of these, the flare cannon, and it, along with many other rare exotic weapons, will be covered in their own videos at a much later date. But we have now covered everything for the 5th digital sketchbook page, concluding this, hopefully, shorter entry. Like I have said, this quicker overview format will be done for the last sketchbook entry, while the next will be a bit longer, as it needs the extra length to sell its atmosphere. So far, we have gone over Stains of Sin and Dawnward, but what about the third choice project? Well, Peering Soul, that is the very subject of the 6th entry, exploring my first conceptions of its world and how they lead into my current vision for its style. While Stains of Sin is a post-apocalyptic, hellish tech world, Dawnward, an epic and wild fantasy journey, the last project is one prevalent in its bleakness, melancholy, despair, and horror, as it is, curiously, in its themes of hope and resolve in the face of terrifying unknowns. I'm very excited to get to talk about it at last, but it will have to wait for next time. And so, Peering Soul, I bid you farewell for now. Its pages of darkness, occasionally broken by silken rays of light, will show themselves to you in due time.